Hello and welcome all to another episode of Biggs versus Biggs. It's me, the Slim Reaper, Kristen Biggs, but I'm here with another Biggs today. I'm usually here with the annoying Biggs, but today I'm here with my sister Biggs. How are you?
I thought I was the annoying Biggs.
See, look, I crossed up. She didn't know what was coming. Nope. Praise this time.
I'm good. I'm not the annoying Biggs. I'm the big sister Biggs. Aida Biggs.
Yes,
nice
the little big sister Biggs. Absolutely. So we got a lot to talk about. Okay, if you've been paying attention to keeping up with boxing, then y'all know what's up. First things first. Aida, I gotta ask you: did Anthony Joshua knock Ngannou out of the sport of boxing?
I mean, the thing about that is
Jay, what's up?
You just don't even know how someone's gonna take an L. But him being a fighter already, I think he can just overcome that mental thing and come back
to boxing.
I think he can come back to because really, when they were saying on a broadcast that he's really he has two professional fights, and those are the highest fights in the whole heavyweight division. So he can come back, start from the bottom. You know what I mean? Have some real fights to, test his experience level and just, rise up the way normal fighters do and keep going from there. Everybody don't gotta go directly into something. Jake Paul didn't. So why would, Ngannou have to? He already proved his stripes.
Okay. However, that was a vicious knockout. Bad. That was a bent leg slump knockout.
You think Ngannou never?
They had to stop the fight immediately. Knockout. No 10 count knockout.
You think he's never been knocked out before?
Not like that. No. That was vicious.
You never know. You ever be in the gym and somebody just get knocked out that day in the gym? Bad, and there's no one there to record it.
I've seen that happen a few times.
Ngannou, I'm just saying.
It's never happened to me.
If I learned that about a fighter, I would not be surprised. Sometimes, I know guys right now in the pros who have 10-0, 12-0, looking great. But I seen him get knocked out in the gym firsthand. I'm just saying. I'm not naming. I'm just saying.
Name names.
I'm just saying. I seen some bad stuff happen in boxing. Flash knockdowns, all types of stuff. So I can't really say that Ngannou never seen that before. So if, more than likely he has, he's been a fighter for a long time, this ain't his first rodeo. He'll be back.
Unless he is a Kryptonian from another planet, I don't think he's coming back from that one. Because reason is this, right? Not only did he get knocked out, he got dropped twice before that. Mm-hmm. And it only took 2 rounds. So for you to see okay, this is the top level of boxing. This is the height, right? Mm-hmm. This is as high and as professional as I can get. That dude, and he's been at the height of MMA, which is supposed to be all the combat sports thrown into one. Mm-hmm. And he was undefeated in MMA, I believe. Mm-hmm. I think so. To come into boxing, your first fight you do great. Second fight, you fight the second best, or arguably the second best guy. And he knocks you out in 2 rounds. And I really don't even know if he landed a clean punch on him.
Look.
That's a bad knock to his confidence.
But you know what was a good knock to his confidence? That check when he went to the dressing room after he got knocked out.
Nah, you right. That was good money. That money was good.
Knocked out cold by
that money was good though.
I got knocked out by Anthony
for $100 million.
For $100 million, I'm happy about it. I'm shaking Joshua's hand at the end of the day, and he could run it back too.
Oh, they took a picture together and everything.
He's happy.
That was fine.
He got knocked out. It happens, and he's happy.
You know what I think he should do? I think he should climb back slowly.
Yeah, facts.
Maybe fight like an older ex-champion. And maybe get a good paycheck in Saudi, because Saudi giving that good money.
Yeah, they just want to see fights right now. They want to be entertained over there. They got so much money. They're just listen, run the check, back gladiator style from back in the day.
Back in the day. All right, moving on. Something that I'm kind of reluctant to talk about, but I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it because a Brooklyn great, a Brooklyn myth, a legend. I still hear stories about this man's illustrious run in the sport of boxing today. Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is scheduled to fight Jake Paul. Did you know about that? She probably barely knew. Scheduled to fight Jake Paul in an exhibition or something like that. Greats like Oscar De La Hoya, he believes that this fight should not be taking place.
It's stupid, man.
Why?
It's stupid. To the casual boxing fan, if I had never looked at a fight in my life or, didn't watch boxing at like a fight party and just randomness, the casuals, I would look at this and go, ooh, Jake Paul really did it this time. He's running into the Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson's gonna knock his screws loose.
Have you seen Hangover?
Yeah, like, have you seen it? He's just, But realistically, Mike Tyson is how old?
He's 57 years old.
57?
But what does that have to do with anything?
It has a lot to do with everything. In athletics, there's gonna be your standard rules.
He's eligible for
Jake Paul
for senior benefits, but what does that mean? He can't box anymore?
How old now?
He's 26.
Okay, and how old do you have to be to get on life alert?
I think he's eligible for life. Yo, listen, man, but it's still Mike. We got
Dakota,
some.
Tell me how old is it to get on life alert? Can you look that up for me real quick? Because I want to know.
It might be 65. Like, come on.
If it's 65,
it might be 65.
He's closer than not to be eligible to be on some. I've fallen and I can't get up. So what is a man in his prime who is at this point now, Jake Paul? He's had enough boxing experience to be a threat. But realistically, could you not walk outside right now today? Even if you weren't a trained fighter, Chris, at 27 years old and knock a 57-year-old man out cold?
I should hope so.
Okay.
I should hope so.
Okay, so there's things that Mike did back in his heyday. Jake Paul would not even want to look Mike Tyson's way back.
So what? He's picking on the old man? You saying?
He's doing too much. Because really, how is this supposed to be entertaining for me?
For you?
I love Mike Tyson.
No, he doesn't care about that.
He's a legend.
He's funny.
He's a funny
Mike
guy. He's
funny.
Relatable. He's all this stuff, but he is 57 years old. So you're gonna go in there and knock Mike Tyson out, or you're gonna go in there and play me for a fool for however many rounds it's gonna be. Probably gonna be too many rounds or something. You're gonna play me for a fool and say that Jake Paul got in there with Mike Tyson at almost 60 years old and they danced around the ring for however many rounds and nobody got hurt.
Okay.
And you're gonna waste my money too.
Okay. This is my take. My problem is this, Jay. You know what my problem is, Jay? My problem is not that Mike Tyson is 57 years old. Okay, that's part of the problem. But the full problem is this. The man is suffering from sciatica.
He has sciatica?
The man walks around with a cane. Mike Tyson has been seen walking around with a cane. You should see Rain's face, y'all. That's my issue. It's like he's technically disabled at this point. And they're pushing it. Can I see the training footage, Rain, please? They're pushing this fight, and they're having Mike is doing it himself, having these day by days. His physique is incredible, by the way, for 57-year-old.
He looks great. Also, what the casual boxing fan doesn't realize is these are spurts of time. These are, you know what I'm saying? This is not 40 minutes of pads like I'm sure you could have did back in the day. He's an older gentleman, man. He's done his time.
Yo, I'm not going. Yo,
you look good though.
Yo, I'll tell you this though. One thing about Jake I'd say is this. Day 3, still want to. Okay. Okay, you got the newbie and the BFR on. One thing I know about Jake Paul is this, y'all. Okay, so this is the issue. This is my thing. Jake Paul has a stamina problem. Y'all ready for this? Jake Paul, the professional fighter, has a stamina problem. Every fight, he gets very tired. So I'll tell you this. If Mike Tyson takes his sciatica medicine and trains like Mike Tyson really knows how to train, Jake might be in trouble. He might be in trouble.
Chris.
Yo, because I'll tell you, his fundamentals ain't that great. Jake Paul's fundamentals are not great.
Paul is.
He's never in good enough shape.
How old is it Jake Paul is?
I think he's 26. I threw that out there, but he's probably around there.
A 20-something-year-old man.
So wait, you said, okay? Did you not like Mike Tyson's performance versus Roy Jones?
No.
Okay.
I thought it was. I thought
27.
It was not from. Listen.
So you're saying you'd be mad at me if I try to fight Mike Tyson? I'm 20. You'd be mad at me like, yo, Chris, what are you doing? You picking on?
Absolutely.
About Jake Paul, Mike Tyson tag too.
He got a Mike Tyson tattoo now? This guy is just, that ain't real though.
It's fake or it's...
He's not serious with that.
I think...
You know what? I'm not going to lie.
I think trolling Mike Tyson is kind of crazy.
Jake Paul really like, you know, I can't, listen, I like the theatrics because I think it brings hype to the sport, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that they take, you know, there's a time and place for everything, and I think he doesn't understand that. I think that he doesn't understand legends because he just got into boxing, so he ain't been here for a long time.
That's just
you know,
some
so I
truth
can
to
go
that.
over to MMA or wherever and start clowning people too, but because it's not really my niche, you know what I mean? He's just starting, so you don't understand. You know, build the fight with Mike Tyson, but don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful to Floyd Mayweather. Chill out. I think that's, you know, it's a new day and age of people just saying and doing anything. And now this is more of a mockery. I like building fights. I don't like mockeries of things, though.
More of a mockery. Okay, I see that.
I got a take.
What's the take?
Because I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
Well, come on now.
In 50 years, when they look at Jake Paul's name, they're going to say, oh, shit, Jake Paul fought who? Mike Tyson? Mm-hmm. Then he fought MMA GOATs. They're going to say Jake Paul went through all the
basketball players.
They're not going to know the age difference. They're not going to know. They're going to be like, damn, this motherfucker must have been the truth.
Yep. And my brother also fought Floyd Mayweather. I never thought I was gonna get a chance to fight.
That's
Floyd.
another thing. Right. That's the sibling rivalry aspect of this, ladies and gentlemen. I was getting there. Thank you for segueing there too. Thank you, Jay. Jay, Rain, Dakota. Any takes y'all got? Anything I want to say it. Feel free. So, his brother, Logan Paul, Jake Paul's brother, years ago fought Floyd Mayweather in a very underwhelming exhibition. And survived, I guess, is a good way to put it. Now, Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson. From the outside looking in, he might look like, what are they competing with each other? Like both of them, one of them had to get one of the greatest fighters of our era, and the other one had to get the greatest fighter from the other era. Is that what it is? Like,
you know what they're trying to say?
Some brothers bag girls. I bag this girl, so I got to bag. So this is what y'all doing, and they just like, I grab this great boxer, now he got to grab another one.
I think it's less about the fighters and more about the audience. I understand when people are looking at me like, let me see how much wool I can pull over this girl's eyes. And I think they look at the audience as like getting a bag.
Oh, like a scam.
Like we dumb. Kind of like we stupid. Like how much more does you guys?
How dumb can we be?
Yeah, how dumb? How much more does you guys gonna take before you say, you know what? I'm not watching anything else that's not real competition. Because now with this Mike Tyson thing, it's just getting to be a little bit, you know, asinine to me. Like, are we seriously gonna? But the way the world is moving right now, we are. We are gonna do it, and they're looking at us like, y'all, here I go, y'all cashing it again.
Now you know. Everybody knows that Jake Paul fought a couple weeks ago and nobody really paid attention, right?
Because who did he fight?
Exactly.
Exactly.
He fought some dude, some boxer, you know, and knocked him out easily, which he always has these miraculous knockouts. I think it's a sibling rivalry, y'all, because Logan Paul came out saying that I hate that I have to talk about it, but I do. He came out saying that he was offered the Mike Tyson fight first, and he turned it down because it was too much of like, why fight an old man?
So you want me to believe?
That's what he said.
You want
His
me
words.
to believe that Logan Paul, who is 6 foot something, would rather fight a 5'9" Floyd Mayweather, almost how many pounds smaller than him, before he would fight Mike Tyson?
And not fight Mike Tyson. That's what he's trying to lead us to believe. That's the from his mouth to my ears. And then Jake Paul's rebuttal was that basically his brother's a liar because the fight was never offered to him. He had to pitch the fight to Mike Tyson's team.
You ever seen two brothers who both be lying, but then, you know, and then you have to figure out
who's
which
lying
one is
more?
The good one, who's not?
Yeah.
The answer to that question is always this:
neither.
They're both lying.
They're both capping.
They're both lying. They're both capping.
I think so.
They've been capping their whole career. They made a lot of money doing it.
I just can't believe a guy that would, you know, and this didn't come out of left field for me because he also fought UFC great Anderson Silva.
That was crazy.
Who was also 55 years old. So this is nothing new to me. This is more rinse and repeat. So I'm glad that we're on the same page about that one.
I can't sit here and try to pretend like I'm happy about seeing that. I'm not. I think it's ridiculous. I think that, I pray that this is staged. I pray that this is not for real, and that Mike Tyson's not really getting in there, and Jake Paul's not really getting in there trying to hurt Mike Tyson at 57 years old.
There's some boxers threatening him too. Professional boxers are threatening him if you hurt Mike, I'm gonna do this to you.
That's like, come on now, that's Mike Tyson. It's
elder abuse almost.
It is.
Like it's actually almost elder. If it's gonna be a real sanctioned fight and not a choreographed thing.
And then what's up with the boxing commission with that?
I ain't even gonna come into that. I ain't gonna get to that. So look, next thing is Ryan Garcia the greatest troll boxing has ever seen? Or is he really suffering badly from mental health issues and traumatic life experiences?
Or is there truth to what he's saying? Or is he not crazy and he's just saying things that he really experienced? I don't know.
What do you think? What's your take? You don't know?
I don't know. I know that he has said from the past that he has experienced mental health issues, but I do know from experience just being around, I know that a broken clock is right 2 times a day. So I think that there's some truth in everything. I think it's just, Dave Chappelle said one time it's very dismissive to call somebody crazy because it just absolves you of everything. Oh, that person's crazy. But you ever been around a crazy person, quote unquote, and they say some stuff that you have to take a double take and you're like, you know what? That was kind of real what you said there. Maybe you just not, maybe it's not just mumbo jumbo all the time. Maybe you actually have something to say.
Because stupid and crazy are 2 different things. Mm-hmm. They're both derogatory terms, but crazy does not mean stupid.
It does not.
My take is, I think that Ryan Garcia is using his real life experiences as promotion for the fight. So both things are true. I think he really is going through things, but I also think that he is lashing out at certain individuals, and strategically this is all timed around the promotion of this fight, and I think it is really good promotion, but I think at some times both of them, him and Devin Haney, they're kind of going too far sometimes, and it's kind of like throwing the fans off. It's throwing the fans off and kind of putting us off, like, what's going on here? I thought it was just regular, you get mad at people, fight banter, but now it's some things from religion to mix in there. I don't know if you heard, but someone that is a good friend of Ryan Garcia was at a gym that Devin Haney was at, and allegedly Devin Haney's security was instructed to strike this man down because he has a Jesus is King tattoo on his chest. This is what the guy says, that his security did it just because it's Ramadan or something. And I don't know if any of these claims are true. This is just how ridiculous this fight buildup is getting. It's getting real weird. Ryan Garcia's house got robbed at one point. His phone, his social medias got hacked, and certain things were said on there that were very alarming. And all the while, I must say this: all the while, Devin Haney is training very seriously. All the while.
What's to say Ryan's not, though?
I see footage of Ryan messing around sometimes.
I mean, that could be what Ryan wants you to see, though.
Exactly. It could be. But I know for sure that what I see from Devin Haney is that he's taking his fight serious and he's promoting the fight. But then again, I could say this too. There's a lot of Twittering going on. And I don't necessarily say tweeting is, or Xing, or however you call it these days, is serious fight camp activity. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of from the school of, this is a serious fight, throw your phone down, don't pay attention to anything, probably even have to miss your girl for a few weeks. And once the fight's over, you get back into the swing of things, a regular life. But once that date is signed and once that fight is signed, you gotta lock in. You gotta lock all the way in.
I think that this could just also be like just what I was saying before. Ryan could just be, showing you what he wants you to see, because realistically, even if, you're going into a fight and you see your opponent is slacking off or what appears to be slacking off, you're not going to be training as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah. Because
mentally, you're already kind of like, man, this person ain't in a fight for real. This is going to be so much easier for me because you're not really focused.
Yeah, that's
so you kind of write the person off already. But, you never know. You never know. This is what Ryan is showing us. So maybe there's something more in store. And I really hope the fight's not called off.
You do?
I really hope it's not. Only thing I want it to be called off for is if this is really a mental issue. But I cannot judge that from this right now. I'm not going to just say that someone is going having a mental breakdown or that's based off of not truth. If Ryan is just, you know, doing stuff and he's saying, you know, of sound mind, I want to see what this is about. I actually want to see it more because I want to see because now we have a story of actual adversity. Ryan's going through something in his camp. These guys really don't like each other. Let's see what happens fight night. And may the best man win, but also may everybody leave the ring with all their faculties as well.
I was looking forward to seeing Keith Thurman return to the ring after many years of him not being able to for different reasons. But I'm not surprised that this fight didn't go through. But most importantly, the Towering Inferno has come in to substitute Keith Thurman as Tim Tszyu's opponent. And contrary to popular belief, he was already in training camp for another fight. So he is a late day replacement, like a 12-day replacement, but he's already been training. So he's in shape. Was he in training for a championship fight? Absolutely not. But he's come in to fight Tim Tszyu. I see that fight as a war. I see it as tactical sometimes, but I could also see how right off the bat it turns into a war. Fundora doesn't move back. Neither does Tim Tszyu. They both have power in both hands. They both have a high knockout percentage. The biggest difference is Fundora has a very high output, and Tim Tszyu is more of a
steady
pressure, steady wins the race, power puncher / counter puncher. Neither are boxers, neither are movers, neither are defensive specialists. So it's definitely going to be the type of fights that introduce a lot of people into boxing. If you want to be introduced into boxing and watch that fight, watch Tim Tszyu versus Fundora. Also, the undercard is going to be banging too, and I'll talk about that in a few moments. What's your take on this fight?
I think it's going to be a very exciting fight. I think so. I think that we'll see who's going to win around round 4 on. You'll start seeing. I think it's going to be pretty evenly matched the first 3 rounds, if not having Fundora taking the lead early on, because I think Tim Tszyu is kind of like a slow starter. He has to get his feet ready. He has to kind of consistently be, catch his rhythm along the fight. I think Fundora he's a young guy. He comes out, kind of swinging, throwing a bunch of uppercuts from a bunch of different angles. And I know for Tim, he hasn't seen anyone who's that tall, who's with that type of who gets that kind of leverage on his punches. So it'll be a little bit of an adjustment. But I think that once he catches his stride, I'm gonna have to go with. If I had to pick a winner, I'm going to say Tim Tszyu because Fundora did come off, getting knocked out. And that does deplete you a little bit of your mental capacity in the ring. So, and Tim Tszyu is, he's not lost a fight. He's undefeated in his professional career. So I think he'll have that little bit of edge over Fundora. And, experience-wise, like age and just, grown man push through.
Please look up Sebastian Fundora's last fight. Thank you very much. I think if I had to bet, I would bet on Tim Tszyu, but I can see a world in which this fight is like it's like 55, what was that? 45? Like 55-45 Tim Tszyu. But it's close because I could see a world in which Sebastian Fundora comes in very confident because Tim does not have the best defense and does not start off quickly.
And he's not fast. He's not a fast guy either. He's not super fast.
He's not
really super fast at anything.
No,
like that.
But he's very powerful. Yeah. Apparently, I can see how he can get overwhelmed, and those uppercuts and those jabs and those hooks can bruise an eye, bust up a nose, bust up a lip real bad. And cause Tim to be in more pressure or in uncharted territory. If he can force him into uncharted territory quickly, then he has a really good chance of grabbing that win in the 12 round contest or possibly getting a stoppage. But Tim Tszyu was a hooker, and Sebastian Fundora got knocked out by a left hook. Bad.
He did.
Bad. So.
Yeah, Mendoza's who knocked him out.
So he's coming off a knockout loss right now. Fighting
Yeah, that's
Tim
what
Tszyu.
I'm saying. And then Tim Tszyu knocked out sorry, did he knock out Mendoza?
No, he just beat him.
He beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He beat him
He beat him
convincingly.
pretty bad. Yeah, so then there's that too.
You
There's
know,
that mental thing of like,
what's wrong with his team? What's wrong with Sebastian Vendora's team? I'm getting sick of this. He just got knocked out
that's what I was saying.
badly,
I don't think
and they put him right back in there with another hard punching hooker
who beat the guy who knocked him out.
who also beat them. Oh boy,
Also, is this his first fight at 158?
no, he's been at 154, but you know of him, the tall dude, but he just got knocked out, Jay.
And the guy so when you lose a fight too, it's like the person who knocked you out, at the very least, you're like, they good. They can really fight. I've been in there with them. And now you go and see somebody to beat them. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you down bad twice.
All the heart in the world, hats off to you because you're super courageous. You know what I'm saying? But you're supposed to have a good manager, promoter, whoever tell you, hey, look, let's get you a good two tune-up fights before this one. Not, I don't even know what you really got left in you in a professional contest, and we're going to throw you in a arguably harder professional contest next.
And you're young. And you could do anything else other than this.
Whoa.
And build yourself back up to championship contention.
Shame on y'all. Shame on y'all, his team. Shame on y'all, his team. I hate it. Hate it. And we got to clip that one because I hope he sees it. Now, Edie, I don't know if you knew this was happening, but this may be the fight of the year. This may be the fight of the year. Rolando Romero, the WBA, I believe, or WBO, one or two, world champion, fights Isaac Pitbull Cruz. Thank you to whoever's listening, all the promoters and managers. This is a great fight. This is a great fight. Two super hard power punchers and arguably the hottest weight division in boxing, 135, going at it. It's Mexico versus Cuba.
This is on the undercard of...
This is on the undercard. No, it's the undercard of Tim Tszyu Fedora.
Oh,
Even better. That's why I'm telling you, that's a great introduction to boxing if you've never watched a fight before. You might not hear about the fight because, not all parties speak English.
Yeah.
So that stops a lot of things on the promotional side. But when it comes down to just pure entertainment, this is the fight you want to see. My take, thank you for asking, Aida, is I got Rolly Romero. Yeah. I got Rolando Romero on this one because he's a better boxer than we give him credit for. And his hands are heavy, man. He got them heavy hands. And if he hits Cruz, which he will do anywhere, it's going to hurt him. Can you look up Isaac Cruz's last fight for me too as well? Thank you.
I would have to agree with that. But also just to say, Rollies was gonna have to watch out for those very sneaky Mike Tyson like uppercuts that Cruz throws. And if he can take that away from him, then I don't see him losing the fight because he is bigger, he is stronger. He's gonna come in. You know what I'm saying? The size difference is gonna be noticeable when they both get in the ring, and he does box pretty well. And I would say even against Javante, he was doing good until he got knocked out.
He was winning the fight, in my opinion.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
this is the fight here that also leads me to believe that Rolly is gonna win.
Yeah,
this fight.
This guy's using distance. Cabrera.
If you guys don't know, Isaac Pitbull Cruz fought Cabrera on the undercard of Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, and put on a performance that wasn't what a lot of people expected on that stage. I'm not sure what happened, but he didn't appear to be as, I don't know, I guess like powerful. His timing
Sharp,
wasn't as good, or sharp. Yeah, he just
explosive as he usually is. Also, don't discount the fact that Rolly's is very awkward. So
that's
that's not going to be anything you can train for.
This is a good
Rolly's
fight.
is like getting in there with a guy who did all types of combat sports and just his last rodeo was boxing, and you think he may kick you sometimes. You don't know what kind of defense this is, but it works for him.
You can find sparring for this?
No.
It's gonna be tough to find sparring.
Oh, for Cruz?
Yeah.
I think you can find people who fight like Cruz.
Yeah.
Who?
Rollies.
I see what Jay's saying though is because his physical attributes are so particular. He's a kind of a smaller target, and he's very short and compact. and his guard is really strong.
But you can find listen, you can go find a sparring partner who can imitate that style. Your whole camp.
Okay.
Any good boxer can imitate that style, in my opinion.
You think so?
Yeah. It's a closed fighting style. It's come forward, it's looping shots. You know what I'm saying? It's sneaky uppercuts, and it's fighting this particular way. All you have to do is find, his little nuances, and
But how well can they do it?
Pretty good. Any professional boxer who's anything that I'm sure Rollies can pay, you can find someone that can get about a good 70%, which is all you really need. Because in sparring, you don't need nobody that's just as good as him. You need somebody who's the style won't be, a huge surprise to you via fight night. Now, to find somebody who can be as awkward as Rollies, you're not finding that. That's very hard to come by.
That's very true. That's true.
The
Rollies
person who's going to be
awkward.
much more prepared is going to be Rollies in this one. You can find somebody to fight like that.
Rolly is coming off of fighting Barroso. Oh, do you have the answer?
It says his last fight was against Giovanni Cabrera.
Okay, yeah. So that was a fight we just. Yeah, he's. I don't know what happened. Maybe he's. Because a lot of things could happen, but he didn't look like Pitbull Cruz used to look. He didn't look like the Pitbull Cruz that fought Diego Magdaleno or the Pitbull Cruz that fought Gervonta Davis either. If it's that Pitbull Cruz we just saw there versus Cabrera, Rolly by knockout. Mm-hmm. Rolly by knockout. Jay, you got to see what you think. What you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Rolly by knockout. Yeah.
I could, because if he's looking like that, I just saw. People might.
I think unanimous decision.
People might disagree.
So I think that Rolly is kind of like. I feel like he's kind of catching his footing a little bit.
He got rid of Bullet too.
He doesn't seem, huh?
He got rid of murder, kill.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. He seems like, I feel like Rollies is okay with like not knocking everything out. I think he's a little bit more subtle, a little bit mature in boxing now. That he knows that like I don't gotta destroy. You know what I'm saying? I can win convincingly now. I think he's a little bit coming to his own standing with the.
That's true. I feel like he might come into it with a chip on his shoulder though because of the Barroso performance. Mm-hmm. Because Barroso was like 37 years old, which. Funny, we were talking about age. That's actually considered kind of old in boxing. So 57 is. Anyway, in that performance, Barroso dropped him. Seemingly, a lot of people thought he won, and so I'm thinking in Rolly's mind, he's like, "Yo, I gotta get that back," because now he lost it to Tank, got knocked out bad. Now an older guy kind of, embarrassed him in a way by dropping him too. So he's like, nah, I got to get this back. That's why I say knockout. Because I'm hoping that he's going for the knockout because in order to restore his greatness, you got to do something great.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I also think that Rollies is a little bit smarter than we give him credit for. I think that, people portray him to be a certain way. But I think, in order to be a boxer and to be on a certain level, your intellect has to be there. And I don't see Rollies, getting into this fight and it being... If he's doing good and not coasting, but I mean, washing each round clean, sweeping it, I don't see why he would, by any means, try to go for a knockout against such a vicious opponent.
I hope he does. Because the dude's too dangerous to let him keep going, too. He's too dangerous to not get him out of there if you get him hurt. Yeah. This dude is Lil Mike coming at you, and you got to take him out when you can. Another one. I have an honorary mention of our fight updates. You watched. You probably didn't catch this one, but familiar with William Zepeda, right?
Yeah.
The high output guy. Yeah. William Zepeda, not Jose.
William is the guy who fought Josue, 140. No,
that's Jose Zepeda. William Zepeda is the guy on the zone. He has. Could you actually pull that up for real quick, right? He has a lot of knockouts. He's a high volume guy. William Zepeda. Boxing. You could look up William Zepeda versus Maxie Hughes. Hughes is the guy that just fought George Kambosos. Okay. And it was Kambosos lost, but they robbed him.
Zepeda. Zepeda.
Yeah. So in this fight, William Zepeda did what William Zepeda does. Mm-hmm. That's good. Yep, that's the one right there. He overwhelms his opponent, as he does. Maxie Hughes is a counterpuncher, a boxer, a mover, and he just swarmed and didn't give him any time. Mm-hmm. However, the question after this fight was, what might Shakur do versus a Williams Zepeda?
Okay.
What might a Shakur Stevenson do against a fighter like Williams Zepeda, who is a come forward, he's an avalanche.
Okay.
He's coming at you. He's a juggernaut. What is he gonna do versus this?
Is this who Shakur is fighting next?
No, it's a it's one of the names thrown around. One of the names thrown around.
Well, I mean, from previous fights, we can assume that Shakur is going to take a few steps back. He's going to box. He's going to gauge the situation. And he's going to put out just enough that he can win the fight.
He's posted on Instagram, yo. I'm coming to put some pause on people to whip some ass. What he
I
said.
don't want to hear anything anybody's talking about on Twitter or
that's what he said.
Because that
to me
coming. Is like, you know how many times I've seen somebody talk about they're gonna do this and do that, and everything. I need to see it in the ring.
You gotta see it, right?
It's not translating from y'all Twitter fingers. You know what I'm saying? It's just going on Twitter and X now, whatever, and then you get in the ring and then you talking about I do what I need to do to survive and I wasn't feeling well and X, Y, and Z. I don't want to hear about that. Like, do it in the ring. And that's by no means saying that Shakur is not going to put up, what he said. But I'd rather you not say it and do it.
And we'll come back to it. Watch this so you let me know your assessment once again when you watch this. But another thing I like to bring up is the fact that I've been the most satisfied I've ever been with boxing in 2023. 2023 is an awesome year for boxing. But and the biggest accomplishment my 2023 as a boxing fan was seeing Terrence Crawford stop Errol Spence Jr.
Yep.
However, since then I'm very underwhelmed with how Terrence Crawford is kind of being handled now.
He should have been fought again. He should have been fighting right. Like, what are we waiting on?
Because he wants a big fight. He deserves only big fights from here on now. But guess what happens now? One thing before they did that, they stripped him of his IBF, which was lame. I don't know why they did that to him. Then on top of that,
that's because he didn't fight Boots.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to say. But Terrence Crawford says that he sent contracts to Boots a couple times.
What does he need to fight Boots for?
I don't know. However, right? So now he's been named the mandatory for Tim Tszyu versus Fundora. The winner of that fight.
Why would... Okay, hold on. There are other big fights for Terrence Crawford to be a part of. I want to see Terrence versus Canelo. That's what I want to see. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
They're around the same height. The weight may not be, but they could meet in the middle somewhere.
Why would that not be the next best fight that makes the most sense?
It's the best versus the best. It's the absolute best versus the absolute best. Canelo is saying that if he, understandably saying he has nothing to gain because if he beats a smaller guy, no one will care. And if he loses, obviously he loses to a smaller guy.
He's not a smaller guy. Canelo has campaigned at 147 as well.
54, I think it's his lowest weight, but that's close enough to 47.
He fought Floyd at what, 152?
Catch weight, yeah.
Okay, catch weight 152. Okay, that's not that far off.
That's not that far off at all.
And Terrence is coming up to meet. So so what's the big deal?
Yeah, I don't.
We're acting like Canelo is like 5'11", walking around at 190 pounds. Like, he's not that big. I
thought that Jermell Charlo was a big fight as well. I don't know why that's not happening. Jermell Charlo versus Terrence Crawford. Why not?
I would like to see that. I don't know why that's not happening.
I don't know why. That's a good fight that could happen. I'm trying to think of other fights too, but as I think more and more, I'm like, dang, like the only fight that really makes sense that'll be big, huge, would be a Canelo fight.
That's it.
For him, because he's fighting Jaime Munguia now, who he's not no Terrence Crawford.
Hold on, you said Canelo's fighting Jaime Munguia?
Canelo Alvarez is hiding to have pressure on everything. Jaime Munguia.
What does he get from being Jaime Munguia?
A win? I don't know.
A win, but how is that not comparable to if you beat Terrence Crawford, then you beat the man in boxing, right?
The only two-time undisputed champion in boxing.
And I'm starting to see a pattern with Canelo where he keeps saying things like that, and I rock with him. I think he's an amazing fighter. I think he brings a lot of excitement to the sport, but he absorbs the excitement when he does stuff like that and he says stuff like that. I also read today he said he wasn't going to fight Benavidez unless he was getting $100 to $150 million. Like Canelo, you're saying things to kind of like price yourself out, saying that people don't deserve this and don't deserve that. What can you gain by doing this? And I don't like that because it's like, what can you gain? You can gain a win over a notable fighter. What can you gain? You can get millions of dollars. What can you? Oh, then it's I don't fight Mexicans anymore. Isn't Jaime Munguia Mexican?
Jaime Munguia is Mexican.
I think he said he wasn't fighting any more Mexican fighters.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
So you're not fighting black fighters, you're not fighting Mexican fighters. You just you know what? Canelo, don't fight no more.
don't fight no more.
Don't fight no more.
He said I need 150 to 200 million to fight. If that's not the biggest compliment ever.
But he said that Benavidez wasn't on his level. So why do you need so much money to fight him? You gotta listen to. For me, you gotta make sense when you're talking to me, because this doesn't make any sense. I'm seeing a lot of contradictions of what he's saying, and it just seems like if you don't want to fight these people,
say that.
Then say that.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I would respect that.
Somebody said all of a sudden Canelo can't speak English again. Interview. It's like, you speaking clear than this before. Now you want to.
Yeah, it's not clear. You know what? It's not what he's doing is he's. I'm not gonna say intentionally, but he's playing around with people's face.
It's not new though. This is not new. This has been Canelo. I mean, I know when I got into boxing, I couldn't be a fan of Canelo because he'd been talking like that. And it was just a turn off to me.
It's off-putting. It's off-putting. I don't like when that's not what boxing was. Me growing up watching it. I understand. Listen, boxing is a scary sport. I will say that. You see somebody, that's in your weight class, knocking out and almost killing people in the ring. I understand why this would be, let me tell you, even the biggest fighters go experience fear, doubt, all those things. But that's a part of boxing. That's the actual fight before the fight. So I want to see Canelo get to that, to where it's not, get back to, doing these things. Because even Canelo's more notable wins, to me, they cannot be as cemented in history as some other fighters who fought people in their prime, who fought people who were, not smaller than them, who fought people, who didn't fight a bunch of people I never heard of before. Yeah,
it's interesting. He put out a statement saying, no matter, damned if I do, damned if I don't, basically. He didn't say that in verbatim, but he said, I fought Austin Trout, I fought Miguel Cotto, I believe he said Shane Mosley, Floyd Mayweather.
Let's talk about that.
I'm getting to it. Kovalev. Triple G. And I think that's all the names he mentioned. Oh, and Danny Jacobs. And so what more?
Let's talk about that. Name all those guys
again. Oh, and Erislandy Lara.
Name all those guys again.
I'll try my best. So he said
Trout.
Austin Trout, Miguel Cotto.
Okay, no, stop Austin Trout.
Austin Trout. Stop there.
He barely won that fight. That's a controversial win for him, to me.
It was. I think it was a split decision, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought that Trout kind of pulled that off even with the knockdown. But move on.
Erislandy Lara.
He lost that fight in my opinion. I thought Erislandy Lara outboxed him the whole entire fight. He didn't land any punches. He threw some body shots, but Erislandy Lara landed the majority of punches and the clean shots. Moving on.
Miguel Cotto.
Miguel Cotto was out of his prime.
Shane Mosley.
Out of his prime.
Kovalev.
Let's move on past Kovalev, because I have some things to say about that. Move on past.
We'll come back to that at a later date. Gennady Golovkin.
Out of his prime. And I thought he lost. Who was it, the first fight? I thought he lost that fight.
And Danny Jacobs.
Danny Jacobs is a great person. But in the scheme of things, don't think about it. In the scheme of things, okay, Danny Jacobs has done a bunch of amazing things in his life. But the biggest thing Danny Jacobs is known for is coming back to boxing after having cancer.
True. The Miracle Man.
The Miracle Man, Danny Jacobs. Are you trying to tell me Canelo Alvarez, the face of boxing, that this resume is the best lineup we can see? Not to take anything away from the men that you fought.
I'm sorry, and Floyd Mayweather.
And then he also tries to talk about that as if Floyd was, he was so young.
Floyd was 38 years old.
I was so young when that happened. That basically doesn't even count. No, you lost. You lost the fight. You lost it. So what are we? Who else? Can we say like he's built off of?
Right.
I think the best thing about Canelo is how many fights he has. He's been fighting since he's been pro since he's
and
16.
how he looks fighting. He looks great.
And how he looks fighting.
He looks great fighting.
He looks smooth. His boxing IQ is up there, but I want to see Canelo not be what I would consider a lazy boxer. He's being lazy to me. This is laziness. This is not like, this is when you hand in a paper in school and you're a bright student and you know the teacher can just tell you wrote this 5 minutes before you came to class. Canelo, we want to see you get up for a fight. We want to see you get out there and prove through some adversity what's going on. The last time you did that was against Bivol and you lost.
Yep.
I want to see you get back up for a fight. Go to a weight class that makes much more sense for your body composition and not, just kind of doing anything, being up. And you don't go back to that weight class. That doesn't make any sense to me anymore. Go back down a little bit, train a little bit harder, show us the Canelo Alvarez that we're used to seeing that can be better and beat somebody in their prime while you're still in your prime. So you don't leave the sport of boxing and people questioning your resume and the things that you can and cannot do and who you did and did not fight.
Do you believe that Canelo Alvarez is still in his prime?
Yeah, I do.
You do? You think he still got some stuff left in him?
I think he has a lot left in him. I think he's wasting his talent, though. On a bigger scale.
Well, stay tuned. Next week, we have some exclusive takes, exclusive news. We're going to be discussing more of this, the next undisputed bout coming up at light heavyweight, which is going to be Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev, which I think is going to be an awesome fight. Probably mostly technical, but still a wonderful performance and a great night of boxing. So stay tuned, everyone. Thank you for listening. Love you guys. Edie, what else you got to say before we close out?
I love y'all, too.
She loves y'all too. Biggs out.